Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sergeant Alex here, and I'm in my survival world. As you can see, Doom Chicken, Super Doom, I forgot what I was calling him, Doom Chicken here, is crying because you haven't liked the video yet, but enough of that. The whole point of today's video is pretty much bee farming. Bees recently got added to the game, and I've been tinkering around with them, and this is kind of my little proof of concept here. I built this little monstrosity first to kind of try and figure it out, how everything works. I did the little trapdoor thing. I think it was one of the hermits on Hermitcraft had something with the trapdoors. I tried that and it works, but for my farm, you really don't need it. And then combining some other redstone trickery and shenanigans, got it to pretty much rural harvest itself. This one here has the glass bottles. The one I'm building in here. I put the shears in just to make it easier. You can swap it out if you do honey bottles, the glass bottles. Make sure all these spots here are full with glass bottles, so that way when it collects honey, it will shoot out up here or go down to the hopper, hopefully. But as you can see, this is pretty much the next thing I built, and I wanted to make all the modules next to each other. Didn't work. I tried a few things out, but I did use it to figure out the whole redstone in the back. I also kind of tinkered with the collection because I found it to be a little bit of a problem, and we'll get to that into the build. For the most part, it either goes into a hopper line that's under all this, or up front here. And that gets me on to part number 2 here, which this is the completed farm. I think I put 10 modules in here, so it's a little bit on the long side, and I'll explain why as we build everything out. But pretty much all the modules had to get separated. That's where we're getting the extra length. The hopper collection area here, I just put a clock there, and that goes every once in a while to collect for this one, the honeycombs or honey bottles, whatever you have, to go there. And then right here, just a little nice little nifty, neat entrance. So I am going to go grab some of the basic items here, and then we'll start building this one here. And yeah, I'm just going to do 10 modules exactly again, so I'm going to start collecting everything. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is start the whole collection system up. So 2 chests here, and I'm just going to start dismantling this machine. As you can see, just some hoppers that go around and for everything to be collected. So this chest, 1, 2, 4 total. So coming from the far end of this chest, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then grab some dark oak blocks. I'm using dark oak just because I think it's a nice color with the whole honey blocks. And then we'll build this up, and machine is going to come here, and we are pretty much doing the rail cart system here. This block right here, redstone block, and then 2 little power rails. So when the cart comes, it goes up, hits the wall, and then starts going back. And then pretty much we're going to go the length of the machine. It's going to vary on how many modules you do, but for this one we're going to come down here, and every so often you're going to want to just pop some powered rails in here. One thing I've learned is just going from server to server, and even in my own survival world, it's going to vary a little, but for this one I find just 3 little power rail sections will get the job done. So we're going to pop another one right here. 1, 2, and then just some trickery. Place a rail there, crouch, place it on top of that hopper, and then you can just swap this one right out. And right there. And because this is one of my redstone builds, grab a button, and you're just going to pop it right here, and that's pretty much going to be the debug system, make sure everything works properly. Go down and around. And yes, it works pretty good. So the next thing I'm just going to do is I'm just going to build this out. By all means, bury this under the ground. I'm building this just above ground so you can see it. Actually, you know what? Okay, and we're back. Just a little, I want to do a little decoration, so when you stand here, you can kind of see the minecart go. I figured that'd be fun for those of you that are building it above ground. Now for the next step, which is just to take hoppers and run them down the entire line here. And you're going to stop right here. And again, for this is for 10 modules. When I get to a module, I'll show you how to build one module. That way you can kind of change the length. The more modules you have, obviously, the better it's going to perform. And we're going to draw a line right here. So pretty much, if there's a block here, or even test it with the half slabs, and you fire the system, it's going to catch on there. So that's pretty much why we have the room. So that way you can go up and around and everything. So nice little section. Make sure there's a flat rail before it goes up. And now onto the actual bee farm and to make the modules. So we're going to fly back here. And for this, you are going to need... Okay, and sorry about that little hiccup. We're going to fly back here and look at the machine. I'm going to punch these two blocks out. We're going to need a dispenser, a bee's nest, and I'm just going to cover that up. And then some redstone dust, a comparator, and a repeater. And then some blocks of your choice. I'm actually using the honeycomb block just because it's new. I want to experiment with it, and I actually might have made this too close to the original machine. We will find out. I should be able to get it. So now we are going to build a module. So each module is going to be 2 wide. We're going to place a block there as a temporary block, a hopper in going there, and if we're for our next module, it would start at these 2 blocks and go on. So go on all the way down. But we're just concentrating on this one module. So here, 2 blocks of your choice, the whole decoration, and then just come on over with that because you want the dispenser facing down. And then your bee's nest facing forwards. You want to see the little holes there for the bees to come in and out. This is where they enter and exit from. And then this is just going to be a wall. We'll build that up. And I'm going to have glass there. Now, coming on out back, as you can see, everything's pretty much covered by wood. There is a reason for that. So right here, come down, we're going to have a solid chunk of wood. Just going to double check. Yep, that all makes sense. And for here, pretty much every other block, you can make it solid if you wanted to. But this is just to kind of make the redstone as compact and neat as humanly possible. I have to come out here. And right behind your little honey block there, you're going to want a solid block with a comparator facing out of there. And then 2 comparator, okay. You're going to want 2 blocks coming out, going into a comparator, and coming up 1. So we're going to have a comparator facing right there, 2 redstone dust on top of that. And then, let's see if I can place it right there off the redstone dust. Yes, we can. That is going to go all the way down. And, yep. And right above that, little dispenser, we're going to place a solid block, have a repeater going into that, with a solid block going into that, and then 3 more redstone dust. So just kind of make it all simpler. Coming off of our, well, actually, let's get this one set up. We're going to build another module right here, there, build the blocks over, 2 blocks of your choice right there, dispenser facing down, so facing down, I suggest placing those before you do the nest forward, so you can see them, everything's nice and happy. Block right behind the nest, coming down diagonal 1. We are going to place a comparator coming out of that block, followed by 3 more blocks, which will have 2 dust, a comparator going into another block, and then pretty much have a solid line coming out of there. This one you can delete, it's not an essential block. But repeater, crouch if you're going to be placing off the repeater, and then 3 redstone dust here, and then 1 right there. So essentially, as the bee's nest fills up with honey, it inputs a higher and higher comparator amount that the comparator can read. So as the comparator goes up, when it hits right here, it's going to power that block, which will activate everything and make a whole collection. And that's how all that works. So I am going to pretty much either disappear or just speed up the video. But I'm going to put the rest of the modules in. So I will be back in a little bit. Okay, and we are back. All the modules are in, and next time I'm just going to build the contraption next to the one I'm going off of. But now it's time for the next little decorative thing, which is now to frame everything up. So we're going to come up here, and as you can see, most of the framework is already done for us. All we're going to do is come around, place 2 glass here, so let's get this going all the way down here. I already started a little bit. Poof. And then I did not do the corners with glass. I figured it'd be a little bit more decorative to do it out of wood, so we're going to place a block there, and then we're going to grab ourselves some stairs, and actually due to the little facade that we add, we're going to do that. But right here, we're going to add in some stairs, and for a little effect, you could add a little bit more bumps by making every other one a stair block. And poof. And as you can see, it's straight there. Originally, because that wasn't there, I just had to go around the corner and stuff. Which the next thing actually we're going to do is kind of get the timing on those rail carts, which is not that hard. You're just going to do your basic clock here. So this is probably one of the more pricier bits, but compared to what you're getting out of it, it's not that pricey. So some regular pistons, some hoppers, a solid block of your choice, redstone torches, and 2 comparators. And we're just going to build this off in any old direction. So I'm just going to place it here. Torch goes here. Place that on top of the torch. Coming here. And then comparator looking that way. Temporary hopper, permanent hopper. 2 hoppers pretty much just running into each other. Another comparator coming out here, going into a block, going into a redstone torch, which gets fed right back here. And then 2 pistons, and that right there. And again, each world is going to vary. I found, for testing purposes, somewhere between 4 and 5 stacks, which is the max amount for a hopper of items there. That way, it's going to run the little cart here before anything happens. And just going to run it right there. So right there, some redstone dust. So pretty much coming off of the torch right there. So we're going to come up over. And yes, you're going to be placing on top of a hopper. It's going to lock it, but it's only temporary because there's no permanent signal. It's just a little pulse. And pretty much whenever that goes off, it's just going to fire the cart. And it's going to go down and loop around, come right back and collect. And that's why I put the glass there, because you can kind of see it working. Actually, I think when I build this in my survival world, I'll do that because that's kind of fun to watch. And then I just continued the glass out and then pretty much built a wall and just kind of closed everything in. So we're just going to imitate that here, because you can put that any way you want. You could squeeze it in a little bit more. I ran it lengthwise, which you can see it's kind of long. And I put this as close to the machine as I could. You could probably move it over one more block, but I just want to make sure that torch wasn't anywhere near that hopper in case it does go off. Kind of like a little bit of space between my redstone contraptions. And if you want, you could probably bury it under there and just run the redstone current up. Pretty much wherever you want to put it. A lot of this stuff is movable. And I'm going to break this glass because the next thing we need to do is actually come in here and set the whole area up for the beast. So do a nice line of grass blocks here. Another line here. And this is actually where we get to the next part, because I want to wait. I like having an in and out. So we're going to grab some buns. We're going to grab not a trapdoor, a regular door. And this kind of makes way to the next little section here, which pretty much any size you want. I'm just went for this area because it looked nice. And put some, actually we got some stair blocks here. So we'll add some stairs to walk in here. And then bun right there. And I did my back there because that way it's nice and flat on the inside. And that way you can push a button, come in, do whatever you need to, and then push a button, walk out. And hopefully you don't have any bees that escape. If you're really concerned about that, you could do some double sure technology. Actually, place that there. And then boof. Turn that into some solid blocks and a button there. So you can push this button, walk right in, come here, push this, and that'll activate, and you can come in, do your stuff. And there's 30 bees in here actually. I'm right now, so I'm thinking some of them are in the nest sleeping. And you can exit without really worrying about bees getting out. So a little double up. We did have a escapee, so maybe it's nice that I added the double sure technology. And actually, one thing I'm curious is, since me recording this video, there was about 2 stacks. Okay, so since me recording this video, those 2 stacks are from testing. Probably we'll grab another half stack, but still, that is a decent amount of honeycombs. So we got the door in there, and then the next thing, as you can see, bees need flowers to pollinate. I kind of grab some big ones and some pretty looking ones. Pretty much however you want to decorate it, get a nice little color. And yes, you are short one flower because of that. But essentially what I did was I took these guys and just randomly put the shorter ones in the back, taller ones in the front. It's pretty much whatever you want to do for decoration purposes. By all means, if you want to make them all one flower, go ahead. But I wanted a little bit of color to kind of brighten up the build. This is one of my prettier redstone builds. So I kind of had fun making it look nice and presentable. But let's put a red one. There's a lot of purple right there. But we got all our flowers placed in, so poof, and for the most part, that is it. One thing I do want to do, yep, that's all glassed off. now all we need are the bees. So you're gonna have to get them the old-fashioned way. I recommend just wait until they go in, when you're on hunt. Wait till they get in there, and actually, let's grab some flowers. Just wait until you get some bees, and you can breed bees. You get a flower, you get a flower, and they're gonna make a baby bee. So you're definitely gonna have to breed them up. But because I am in a creative mode, I can pop bees in there. Through testing and a survival world, I think that like each home holds 3 bees. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. They could be changing it up. But, so that's why I have 30 bees in here, and they do disperse. And it's kind of like a little fish tank, which is why I made the front of it glass. You could hide all of this buried underground. And they're going to fly around, get flowers. You can see that one already has pollen, so he's going to make his way back to his home. And after a while, they'll sort out. And let's see if we can find one that has a bee. Oh, that's sending off. Okay, well, we'll go off of this one because this one's almost at the end of one more cycle, and that's going to power that black and go off. And let's see, there's another one here. That one just started. It's only got a pull strength of 1. This one just went up to 2 because it went right there. So 3, 4, and 5 for the strength, because that comparator just takes whatever power is going into it and carries it on. This one just went up to 3, and that should be happening here. And let's see, any bees going in the home? It might take a second for them to everything to get sorted out. Oh, actually, I am forgetting one thing. What you want to do now is get your shears or glass bottles. And this is why we have the little access door. You can walk in and then go over to each one of your dispensers, put shears in there, otherwise it's not going to do anything. And this pretty much just interacts with the little bee nest here, and make sure that everything gets collected. And that last one, we'll fill this one up with glass bottles. And the reason why 5 just popped up there, I'm left-handed, so I actually use my number pad to move around and do everything. Wait, we have another bee that escaped. He ain't going home anytime soon. You just stand there up. Get in there. That's a little baby bee he made run away. And then the time, actually, yeah, we had some stuff go off. Anything power up completely. So just needed a second to kickstart. This one's 3, that one's 3, 3. Some of these hit 4. And it would be, that one just went off, I think. No. I thought I saw something light up. So I'm just going to stay here and fast forward when one of these goes off. Okay, and one of them just went off, that one, which just lit up immediately. So as you can see, there's some honeycombs here, there's some more there. So a few of them have gone off. There's a glass bottle from honey there. Some of them have gone in through the hoppers. I'm not sure about Java, but on Bedrock, for some reason, it doesn't work this way. I've seen a few farms where set up with the hopper right below. And if we check our clock, let's actually hurry things up. So that's going to go off in a second. Poof. And then everything goes off. And we'll put the blocks back in there. And it's going to go down and collect everything. It's making its return trip. And by all means, tinker with it. The whole idea is you want this to fire off before items despawned. Which I don't know those off the top of my head. But it collects everything. We got our glass bottle there. And just for me waiting a few minutes, I want to say 2 at the most, we already got 27 honeycombs. And let's go off of this farm. See, that we got pretty much a full stack because these are the ones that I moved down, and then poof, more. So that's pretty much it. I didn't do a lot of decorating on this one. There's definitely a lot of potential. You can decorate this end how you want, that end how you want. I kind of like how it's a whole fish tank, so you can definitely put this into a house and have just that visible. By all means, you could drop it 2 blocks and put this in the ground. The whole idea is the flower level here is ground level, which you can see kind of on the none of the farms actually. I built them up one, but you could put that ground level. And one thing that I did forget to do is there's a little bit of a light source. So I think some redstone lamps would actually look nice. We're gonna cheat. So we're gonna do every other one, kind of get it fast before the bees run out, and then we can light them up in this spot. This area can always be hidden. You could use glowstone, but with the whole dark wood theme going on, there we go. Now we got some light for those guys. That way I don't think mobs can spawn in there. And I don't know any mobs that fight bees, but I kind of like to light up my builds as I go along. And you can swap the honeycomb out for glowstone or anything. But I do kind of like how it's a nice decorative block. That's why I did the dark oak, because even though it is a relatively new block, just these colors work beautifully. And I mean, you could do a nice basic wall out of it. So there's a little building tip, or actually could make this look like a wallpaper. So come up. But I mean, those 2 colors, I just love how they go together. But I'm getting off. That's pretty much it for this farm. Nice little quick simple bee farm, which is bedrock friendly, and for the most part, ignoring the iron, depending on how large you're making this. If you really wanted to save some iron, I suppose you could make that all solid blocks. I haven't tested anything to see how collection would work that way, but for the most part, it works out pretty nice. A little iron heavy, but at this point, if you've seen any of my farms, I love hoppers. So that's pretty much the part that's going to kill you. So build an iron farm or do a really good mining expedition. That's pretty much it. Everything collects right here for you. And that's also, you know the usual stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. I always got more content on the way. If memory serves, I actually have a little building video for my survival world coming up with this one today. Double the Minecraft this week. And I'm just going to end it here. So this is Sergeant Alex. Hoping you're having a sweet time with this farm if you decide to build it. I hope you have a nice day. Until next time, bye.